Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. It is mail call time from Dean Chou over at All Things Spinning, and this is actually a spinner by Mackie. You guys already read the video title, but before I actually open up this package and check out the contents, I want to say that I don't know what the audio quality on this video is going to be like, because looking back at my previous videos, I realized that there was always this kind of high-pitched humming sound every once in a while that sounded like it was some kind of weird static noise feedback kind of thing from the mic, and that made me wonder why that sound was only apparent in videos where I actually film in this particular kind of layout and format. And I was thinking, well, maybe it's because I always put my mic very close to the lights that you see here. So yeah, the mic used to be like directly just above the camera or the phone, which is really close to the lights. So I'm thinking it could be some kind of static interference coming from the lights. I don't know. So I've got the mic at a different location. It's off to the side right now. Hopefully I don't sound too distant, and hopefully, you know, the audio quality is better. I mean, if I don't try, I won't know. So if the quality sucks, then I do apologize. So yeah, here we go. I did not expect that this spinner would come in a box like this. This is actually pretty cool. I mean, it's not the best quality plastic, but it's still pretty solid plastic. This, guys, is the Mackie Fusion Spinner, and I guess I should just be looking at what's underneath. It says here its name. Well, I can't read Chinese very well, especially that it's printed in this way. Can't even tell what it is. But anyway, it's known as the Fusion Spinner in English. Material is titanium. It's 78 grams, so that's a good range for me because I like anything between 60 to 120 grams. And it was produced in September this year. Then we've got Mackie's socials as well as a QR code, although if it's printed in such a quality, I don't know if you could still scan it. And it says here TX for green, because I opted for 4 green trits to be installed, or pre-installed I should say. So yeah, shout outs to Dean again over at All Things Spinning for helping me out with that. But let's just open up this box. And wow, okay, so I gotta say the presentation is actually quite awesome. I never expected this box, and it is well, so waterproof, I guess, to a certain extent. It's got a layer of foam on top, and it looks like, yep, it's stuck down to the lid, or the underside of the lid, with a piece of double-sided tape. And then we have the spinner here that has been vacuum sealed and packed up very nicely. Wow, I am quite surprised. Like, it's been a long time since I actually purchased anything from Mackie, guys. Like, I remember, I think the Tri-Night, that was a long time ago, but this is quite cool. And then, if I'm not wrong, there's something on the underneath of this. Yep, it does feel like it. It's 2 layers of foam. One is a dense layer of foam that has been very nicely cut out to the contours of the box, as well as this softer foam here. And then in here is another layer of foam with a small little cutout area, and it has this little package, and this looks to be, I think, the bearing removal tool. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so that, wow, this definitely does look like a pretty cool tool. And we got a Mackie sticker, an extra bearing, and another sticker. Okay, so this is Migo design with a spare bearing. It's a pretty good unboxing experience so far. Very, very well done, I must say. So I'll just leave this out because I might need it later. But yeah, I should put all this back and leave this off to the side so you guys can see some branding there, Mackie branding. And how am I going to do this? I guess just rip this open? Yeah, let's just rip this open. Or should I slice it from the top here? Nah, you know what? I'll just slice it from the top. Here we go. It is much larger than I expected, but it's a very welcome surprise. I was hoping that it wasn't going to be too small, but yes, wow, guys, I'm quite blown away by the machining quality on this. This is quite awesome. Wow, okay, so it's got a slight, like, very light bead blasted texture, and then of course we got this blue anodized ring here, and this is looking really good. So I've got the trits installed, 2 on the outer edges and 2 that look like they're sitting in the arms. But it does feel like as if yeah, it feels like it's independent rotating buttons and a core ring. I don't know, so you guys can see, right? Okay, I'll spin the button anti-clockwise, and I'll spin the outer ring clockwise. This is so interesting. Before I give it a proper spin, let's just pop the buttons off and let's just see what is going on under the hood, although I don't know if I want to consider this a hood. So this is my first experience with the Fusion core, I guess. So we can see that there is a R188 bearing in there, and this looks to be spinning? See, as I spin this, you can see that the inner race of the bearing is spinning as well. Yep, so hopefully you guys can pick that up. And then I think I could just kind of... Can I even twist this open? Oh, I can. Wow. Okay. What? Okay, this is some crazy machining. Oh my goodness, this is... Wow, this is dope. Okay, I am... What? Okay, so my hair's standing again. I haven't had this kind of excitement in quite some time. This is quite cool. I'm assuming that this could possibly be a spinner on its own. This area here, because it's got a screw cap bearing retention system there that holds the R188 bearing in place. Right here it says Mackie Studio Nuclear Explosion 123. That's quite cool. Nuclear Explosion number 123. That's a pleasant surprise. But okay, see, the bearing looks offset. You guys can see that the bearing is a lot more flush on the underside here, and then on this side it looks like it's recessed quite deep in because of that screw cap retention thing. So the buttons, yeah. Okay, so I'm just comparing the buttons and the core. And so you see the shoulders here on the female half of the button. Yep, and then, well, this male half of the button is just wide all the way. So basically the male half of the button has to go onto the side with the cap because it sits in, down like that. That's to accommodate for the difference in, you know, where the bearing is actually sitting with relation to this particular core. So I think I should be able to get this to spin separately as a spinner if I use the female half and insert it from the bottom of this core. Yep, it definitely feels like it's spinning nicely already. And then we get the male half of the button and install it onto the cap side. A little bit gritty towards the end, but there we go. That is a spinner on its own. Yeah, and it's super light because it is made in titanium. This is anodized blue. So yeah, oh, it looks like it has a dent. What the hell? Okay, so it does have a dent. Let me try and adjust the lights in a way that I can kind of show it to you guys, but you guys can see that. Oh man, there's a dent right there. It's a small, slight little ding or knock. The fact that this is anodized, it means that this was actually blemished before it went through the anodizing process. That's a bummer. What the heck? Can't expect things to be perfect all the time. Although I think I should highlight it to Dean / to Mackie. Now let's look at the core here. There is another screw cap retention system here, and it looks like it's housing a what seems to be possibly, what's that bearing number again? It's a ring spinner bearing, but what's that number? I forgot. Six something. Guys, it's been a while. But yes, since this is free spinning, this is technically a ring spinner now. And it's quite cool. But let's look at the machining qualities here on this thing. This is actually pretty darn awesome. It's super intricate. Super intricate. Yeah, very Transformer-esque, I guess. But I like it a lot because it's very robotic. Yeah, great ring spinner. Oh, very comfortable. Oh, sorry guys, this is actually the first spin, right? Technically the first spin. And that is pretty dope. Well, it's a very light feeling ring spinner because this is the first time I'm experiencing a titanium ring spin. Let's try and see if I can get a nice strong flick and get some kind of a warp if it's possible. Well, is it even possible? Let's try it. We'll slow this down a little bit. I don't think so. So, yep. Yeah, almost there. I think I got that speed. Yep, right there. So, kind of like that. That's a little warp here. But, yeah. So I guess I could use this tool right here, and I think this looks like, yeah, that's the orientation here. So let's just undo this just so that we can check it out. It's a little bit gritty, but it also means that this thing is on tight, and it's gritty to a point that I don't think I'll be able to use just my bare hands to tighten or remove this without the help of that tool. At least more than halfway. What am I saying? But yes, so bearings sitting in here. Let's see if we can pop that out. Yep. There we go. So that is it. Bearings here. sits in there. And then just pop the cap back on. I need to make sure that I get the orientation right. I think I got it. I don't know if it's correct. I think so. Then I'm gonna have to use a tool because it is really quite gritty. Right, that feels about right. It's completely flush now and it's tight in that slot. And I'm looking at the trits right now just to kind of see how this was installed, and it does look like it looks like it's glued in, but I am unable to find any trace of Norland glue, so that's, I guess, a good thing. But it is, yeah, green trits. And so now I'm going to pop this core back on. And I mean, you guys don't need me to remove this, right? It's quite standard, but I'm glad that they actually provided an extra bearing in there, but no extra ring spin bearing. So I don't know. So you got to make sure that the orientation is correct and the details are all facing up. There we go. Wait, that's weird. It's scratching. That's weird. Okay, I'm gonna have to undo this. Why is there a scratching happening? Oh, I think it's because of the orientation. So let's see. Well, the shoulders look okay, but I remember that the screw cap of the ring spin bearing was on the opposite side of where the screw cap of the R188 bearing was, so I have to make sure that it's in that orientation. Let me give it a quick spin. Yeah, it feels smooth now, so let's try this again, just to make sure we get the orientation right. There we go. Ah, yeah, that's right. So you have to get the orientation correct, so just be mindful of how you actually disassemble and reassemble this thing. Then we now gotta get the buttons in the correct orientation again. So the side with all the laser markings is where the female side of the button goes, and then the male half of the button goes onto the side with the R188 screw cap for the retention system. Then tighten the button down, and it looks like, yep, we are good to go. It's time now for a proper first spin in the, I guess, the completed or the full spinner orientation. Here we go. Just a quick pull. It actually feels very smooth. It feels a lot smoother than I expected, but it's not easy for me to balance it, probably because of the way I'm holding it and because of the buttons. So yeah, there is this little flat area here with a recessed lip, which is quite interesting. I've not yet seen buttons, or I've not yet experienced at least buttons of this particular design, but that definitely feels good. So let me try that again. Let me get this and then try and balance it. Yeah, it's kind of hard to shift the balance so that you can balance it on one finger. I mean, definitely it's smooth. It's really smooth despite how many pieces this is made up of. But there is absolutely no judder. Absolutely no judder. I did not expect it to be this smooth. So now this way, if I were to stop the outer ring, would the inner core area still be spinning? Let's try that out. So I'm stopping it now. Oh yeah, that's cool. So it's still spinning. Oh, it's even causing the outer ring to spin more. That's quite cool though, I have to say. Okay, now push forward. Yeah, that trailing effect is definitely something that is quite an interesting experience, because you actually feel the spin feedback. That's quite cool. It is quite chunky, so maybe not the best for jib jabs, because you can see I'm struggling due to the size of it. The sound that the bearing's making is from the ring spin bearing and not from the main bearing itself, because if I were to hold these two down and then spin just the button, it's not causing much of a sound. But if I spin the core, you can hear that sound, right? Ah, that's weird. Okay, so maybe this is another thing with tolerances. I just found out that if I spin the core and then I squeeze down on the buttons, if I apply pressure and squeeze the buttons together, it kind of stops the bearing from spinning, like some kind of a break in a way. Like, so now I'm not going to squeeze it. This is how it spins naturally, I guess, like a free spin. So now I'm going to spin it and then apply pressure. So here we go. Spin, pressure. So see that? Yeah, it does act like a brake of some sort. Yeah, but overall, I think, you know, I got this because, number one, I felt that the design was actually quite cool. And also, I wanted to give a shot at owning a new generation Mackie spinner. And last but not least, of course, to support the brother Dean over at All Things Spinning. You know, he's been awesome. So yeah, just wanted to hop on this and see what this is all about. So this is my first impressions, everyone. Let me give you guys a quick size comparison. Of course, with a stubby, because the stubby is the all-time classic in my opinion. And it is larger than the stubby in all dimensions, height, width, and even in thickness for sure. Yep, hope that gives you guys a better illustration. All in all, I think this is quite cool. I don't remember how much this was. I think it was 175 US dollars, I think. But I never expected it to have two bearings. Like, that's probably my own fault for not really paying attention, for not actually keeping abreast with all of the developments in terms of the Mackie spinner world. But yeah, this is a pleasant surprise to actually have two bearings in one spinner. Is it something that I'm going to enjoy for long? I don't know, because you guys know that I've been dwindling in terms of the interest in spinners. So yeah, table spin for you. Haven't done a table spin for you guys in so long, right? Table spin for you. And see how it slowly accelerates the inner ring right there. Yeah, very interesting. And if I stop the outer ring right now, the inner ring is going to continue spinning. There we go. All in all, I like it. I think it's quite cool. This design is pretty awesome. It's very rectangular-ish, not so much of a bar-ish kind of vibe because of these two areas here. But I really didn't want to make this a review, guys. This is more like a, I guess, an unboxing and the first impressions. And I'm actually very surprised. I guess I'm very impressed with Mackie's machining now. I remember in the past, I always had this, I guess, this impression maybe, that Mackie uses coating, like different types of coating like PVD or whatever, to kind of cover up imperfections on the finish. But this is clearly raw titanium and this is really good. I mean, yeah, of course there is a layer of media blasting going on, but I have to say that, you know, like even on the insides, the more intricate areas, those are done very, very well. Everything has a very nice small chamfer, and even though you have areas like these, right, they're all chamfered as well, so no hot spots to complain about. The only one big downside, I guess, and that's the biggest downside, is this nick or this ding over here. This thing is, yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, you can't expect every single piece to be perfect. Although I'm not so quick to forgive. Rest assured, I will be taking a picture of this and sending it over to Dean just so that he could highlight it. So let's see how things go from here on out. But all in all, I think this is quite awesome. A little bit expensive in my opinion, but you know, nowadays with this kind of machining quality, the way it is, like right now, I guess I dare say that $175 is more than justified. And of course, yeah, I opted for trits. So I think 175 was excluding trits. I can't remember exactly. I'll just put the price on screen, everyone. Now it feels a lot more justified for that price point because of the multiple layers, you know, of kinetic action that you have on this particular spinner. Pretty good, very nice, big, hefty size. I like it, and it's still light. Don't know how that's possible to keep this entire spinner in this size and make under 100 grams. Titanium, yeah, pretty awesome. And that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking all the way throughout and sharing in this slice of my life. I really wanted to give you guys this unboxing and first impressions of the Mackie Fusion spinner. If you like the content that I'm putting out, please consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do subscribe, make sure that you hit the bell to be notified of any new uploads that I put out. Also, I run a Patreon page. I'll put a link up here to that in case you want to go check it out. And we do have exclusive patron only content, as well as we do have patron exclusive giveaways from time to time. So if you do become a patron of mine, thank you so much in advance. It really means a lot to me. I'm going to end the video right now, everyone. Kudos again to Dean over at All Things Spinning, and of course, shout outs to Mackie. I feel that this is a good product overall, and I will catch all of you in the next slice of my life. Until then, everyone, Gaga Boost.